one of those bosses that goes, oh, you know what, this month we did not make money, so I don't know how you're gonna eat. At least you're gaining experience. Don't do that. Do not do that to human beings. Welcome back to Hustle Mtaani. For those of you who are new here, my name is Kate. I'm a finance specialist. For those of you who are coming back, did you miss me or should I take another break? Anywho, we're going to jump right back off to where we left, and today we're going to be talking about how to organize your resources in order to start a business. In case you haven't watched the previous video, the link is going to be up there. You can go and watch it and see where we started off with this series, and let's jump right into it. So the very first question for anybody where they get common sense is, what do I need? And then the very simple answer would be money. And you know, we can end this video here. But how do you get this money and what do you do with it after you get it? So there are very many options for businesses if your business is capital intensive and you don't have the financial clout to pull it off by yourself. The first and most obvious place to look would be a bank. There are very many options for loans, and if you haven't already watched my video on how to identify a good and bad loan, I think that's where you should start before you go to the bank and start asking for money. So once you know what is a good loan, what works for you, what is a bad loan, you can proceed from there. Continue watching this particular video. Also, depending on where you are, you can look into SACCOs. Speaking about the Kenyan situation, I'm not sure about the rest of the world, what you guys have, but if you have SACCOs around you, their terms are much more favorable for businesses who are starting up. Or you can use your table banking chama money to, you know, do something useful with it instead of just shopping all the time. That's another idea. If and only if your business model is good enough and it looks like it's going to be profitable in the long run, you might be able to secure a venture capitalist or two who are going to finance you in exchange for a share of the business and return of the profits, either or both of these options. Again, if you want to look into this kind of financing, look at my video on debt, how to lend money to your friends and family. The venture capitalist is always going to ask you either for a share of the profit, a share of the company, or a payments plan, depending on what kind of terms you come into with them. I also have good news. In case you are a non-profit or an NGO, you can find donations and grants from well-wishers. There are sites like GoFundMe and other places where people are actively looking to give back to organizations that are trying to help the community. You can look into that. Also, the government is a good place to look. Don't look at me like that. Yes, they do give money to non-profits, as well as CSR from companies who are trying to give back to the community. What you need to do with companies is look into what activities they specifically intend to fund, or the ones they have been funding in the past, so that you know if your goals and values and mission and what your NGO does is aligning with their own CSR plan, their own values, their own mission, before you submit your proposal. Don't just wake up and go to the company and say, hey, give me money for this activity, when they do not support this kind of activity, they do not intend to, and it goes against everything that they stand for. I hope you understand this. Or if you don't want to do all this, you know, you can just wake up and one day find the money lying on the streets. Anyway, so what do you do with your money once you get it? So this is where I have bad news for most of you. Before you go shopping with this money, before you try to impress your friends and try to go out for drinks, remember that your business might not break even. I'm not even talking about profits. I'm talking about breaking even. That is recovering the capital that you put inside for the first 2 years that you're in business. So to save yourself, you will need a nest egg of the funds that you have received, just as a backup plan. Okay, don't spend all of it, don't invest all of it, unless you are 100% sure of the returns, which is never a guarantee in any business. The purpose of this nest egg is to keep you up and running with the day-to-day costs, operating costs, when there's no incoming cash flow into the business. I hope I've explained that clearly. So you don't have to keep running back to your investors or running back to the bank, because what you will be doing is showing them that you do not have sufficient planning, you do not know how to run a business, and in most cases they will take over your business from you. I'm not talking about the bank, I'm talking about the investors. They might buy over your business, they might replace you. So please don't go out there looking like you do not know how to plan. Make sure you have a steady cash flow regardless of whether you're having income or not. So now that you have your money set aside, you're going to need to look into what is your core business. For example, if you do deliveries, you're going to need maybe a vehicle, a motorbike, bicycle, whatever it is that needs to get the job done as the core business. If, for example, you're doing digital marketing, consulting, or anything that requires a digital platform, maybe the best thing for you to buy first will be a computer. I hope you're getting the drift. So now you bought the equipment, you have your nest egg. The next thing would be to hire staff that are core to your business needs. I'm talking about, you have now a delivery vehicle, you have a bike, you have a computer for whatever kind of business. Now you need the people who are going to do the actual job. As an entrepreneur, the first and most important thing you need to remember is that you cannot do everything by yourself. You will need people around you, and you will need to pay these people, okay? Remember, you get what you pay for. If you want people to work for free, well, I cannot help you here. So another thing is to make sure that you have running costs for at least 6 months. For example, if you need to pay office rent, make sure you have money to pay office rent for the next 6 months. Make sure you have enough money to pay your staff as well, regardless of whether there's income or not. Don't be one of those bosses that goes, oh, you know what, this month we did not make money, so I don't know how you're gonna eat. At least you're gaining experience. Don't do that. Do not do that to human beings. So this video was made also in consideration of the people who are living in 2020. We're on lockdown, and for most businesses nowadays, all you just need is good internet connection and maybe your personal laptop. That is good for you. These tips may or may not apply. They might apply when you need to expand your business. They may not apply to you right now, but just in case, keep these tips in mind. For those whose businesses are more capital intensive, please make sure you pay attention to the points in this video, because it's going to be very useful for you. In any case, I'm going to sign up here. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and do not forget to subscribe. Don't. Take care, guys.